Boris, what do we have here today?
Well, first of all, it's nice to be out in the field, as opposed to in the studio.
Yep, that's a different venue.
Yeah, so thanks for coming out. So what we have here is a 1989 944 S2, which was the last of the 944 series. So it's basically the ultimate 944. This particular one has the 968 3-liter motor in it, out of the lighter series. 928 S4 brakes, which are much larger, more capacity. And belongs to a gentleman named Doug Crossman. I've been fortunate enough to have a chance to run it and drive it at Audubon as well as Putnam Park. Hopefully you had a chance to see some of those videos. It's a pretty amazing old car. I seem to like 1980s cars the most. It's just a lot of fun to drive. But at Track Tested Motorsports, we always talk about safety, and this has a higher level of safety protection than that BMW, which is pretty well equipped safety-wise also. So it may be a good idea to talk a little about safety today. And then also we have a cool shirt cooling system in this car that allows the driver to control their core temperature. And then finally the hydration system so that you can stay hydrated while you're on the track. It's a hot day today, so that might be a good topic.
So this looks like a fully prepped track day kind of car. When should I transition from my regular stock car to something like this? At what point should I transition?
As late as possible. If you can just be happy driving your street car on the track, that's wonderful. Because you're not spending any money, and you're investing all that knowledge and money, and instead of spending on car parts into yourself. So the short answer is as long a period of time away from now as possible. Look at me, I'm 63, and I'm finally now getting to drive these race cars. This is actually a race car. So this car can compete in Porsche Club Racing. It's an ST car, I believe. Street tuning, maybe, I don't know what that stands for. It also can run in NASA as a GT5R car. I'm sure you can run it in, something like Champ Car Series, which is based on horsepower weight or World Racing League. So there's a lot of different series you can run a car like this in. Should
I look, if I want to transition to this point, should I buy a fully prepped car as it is from someone else, or should I go and strip my car down?
You always want to buy one. We've talked about that car in the past, and it cost about $30,000 to build that car, and it was purchased for around $10,000. This car, it would cost about $60,000 to build a car like this. And I know what it just sold for, which is when this review is timely because we won't have it much longer. But it's roughly a third of that. So you decide, if you want to spend 1/3 for a car that's already turnkey, ready to go.
And this has everything, right?
Yeah, it does. It has data acquisition. It has full roll cage, fire suppression, hydration system, cooling system. So yeah, in my opinion, it'd be foolish to take a nice street car and then start chopping it up and spending all kinds of money to get to this point.
So, all right, Boris, let's get a quick walk around on the outside of this car here.
Okay, before I open the hood, I want to point out the front splitter. Later on, we'll talk about that big wing on the back. It's important that the cars are in balance, whether it's weight distribution or aero. If you're going to add a splitter to the front, or let me reverse that, if you're going to put a big wing on the back, you better put a splitter on the front as well. Otherwise, you're going to have a car that understeers really badly. So, wind splitter, tow hook, obviously, in case tows needed. We want to make sure we make it easy for the crew at the track to pull us out of a gravel trap.
So on my day-to-day commute, I don't need one of these like I see?
You don't need one of those unless you need to get onto a flatbed. So let's take a look for what's under the hood. The engine is fairly stock, 968 3-liter motor out of a 1990s 968 Porsche. What's really cool about this car is the suspension system. So you can see these remote reservoirs, and everything is very, very adjustable with just a click. You know, if you want to go stiffer or softer, you know, in case of rain, you want to go softer. Right now, everything's set up on medium, and the car has pretty good balance as it is. But this sort of a suspension with actuators or accumulators is really great because you can really fine tune the suspension, and the car truly feels like it's on rails. Other than that, it's, you know, pretty standard fare underneath here. There is a safety shut-off switch, which remotely from that side or here shuts off the power, or from inside the car. So, you know, first thing you always want to do in case of an accident is shut the power off. And the reason this is here is so that a corner worker or a marshal can easily disconnect the battery power, so we're not feeding the fire with fuel. Let's go to the back. I talked about the aero balance. So obviously we have a pretty big wing back here, which is fully adjustable for downforce. Right now it's in the least aggressive position, because as you add downforce, you're also adding drag. So you don't want any more downforce than needed to have the car in balance. We also have a tow device back here. We have a removable license plate. It's also made of lightweight aluminum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And this actually can create about 300 or 400 pounds of downforce. So there's some reinforcements underneath in order to support that kind of downforce. In these least aggressive position, it's probably still 250 pounds of downforce. So it's pretty significant. And again, I don't think it can be seen through the glass, but we have the accumulators for the rear shocks up here. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around to the driver's side and get in. And Jag, if you want to go to the passenger side, I can point out the interior features of this car. So like all race cars, we have a full roll cage around us to protect us. Racing seat with holes for harness. And we also have, well, the steering wheel sitting over there. We have some data acquisition. In this case, we have a TrackMate. We have fire suppression by pulling this pin. This pressurized bottle of fire suppressant is activated, and there's plumbing. There's one nozzle that sprays here into the interior of the car, and there's another nozzle in the engine compartment. So in case of a fire, it's very easy to put the fire out. Let's see, it's hot today, so here's the Cool Shirt cooler. It's basically a portable cooler which you put ice and water into. There's a pump. It's controlled by a switch up here, and I can turn the pump on or off, and I can also, you can hear it running, and I can also control the amount of flow through the shirt. It's like a rheostat here.
So why would we want a cool shirt? What are some of the advantages?
So it's obviously very important to keep your core temperature at a level where you're able to perform at optimum level. You don't want to get too hot. And also, you know, if you get too hot, you can get a heat stroke and pass out. So a comfortable driver is going to be able to operate at a higher level of performance, be smoother, and therefore faster. Similarly with hydration, in this case, we have a bottle that's mounted back there. I usually put Gatorade in there, and then I can just stay hydrated through this tube, which I stick in through my helmet. And every time I want to get a sip of a beverage, I can do it through here. And of course, it's very important to stay hydrated on hot days like today. And it doesn't take much to overheat in a car, especially cars with engines in the front, because all that heat's passing through the cabin. So those are some of the unique features of this car, which I really like.
So where's a good place if I want to buy something like this, look online? Are there particular sites that I should look on? Like the Porsche Club have a site that I should check out?
Yes, absolutely. So, Porsche Club of America, I believe they're still the largest car club in America. So they have a for members only site.
Okay.
I always tell people, buy a car you know from a person I know. I would feel comfortable buying this car from Doug because I know Doug really well and I'm similar to the car. You know, that car, you found Jag
Yeah.
on a BMW website. But there are a lot of others. Bring a trailer. I don't even know all of them because I haven't been taking a look at them. But yeah, there's a lot of different places. But the two best ones, in my opinion, are the Porsche Club website for Porsches, BMW website for BMW.